So we're going to answer some personal questions for you guys now. We did a video on mental health questions. Now we're going to get into personal questions about our situation, what we've been through, what we've gone through, really just specific to our situation. Why did Dad think I was serving him papers when I first knocked on his door to reunite, and what papers would I be serving him? So it's also related to my mom, right? Because my mom was threatening, like, restraining orders and stuff like that for no reason, too.
Right.
You know, there's nothing you did. There's no reason behind it, but that's kind of like where her mindset was at. That's how mean she was being at the time. So when I knocked on his door after so many years apart, not for nothing too, but like it was your immediate the mental illness kind of kicked in there too, like going right to a negative thought in that moment.
Right.
Instead of like, oh, like my daughter, you know, it was more like, is this a bad thing?
I'm sorry I wasn't more excited about you knocking on my door.
In that first moment, you were nervous, but
yeah.
After you realized why I was there, you were so happy and excited. Are you kidding me?
We were doing walk around town.
Well, no, you invited me upstairs to your apartment.
Okay.
I had a bag of gummies for you.
Oh yeah.
Right? And then I came upstairs and I was telling you all about my life, and you were so happy for me. You were impressed that I was bartending.
Oh yes.
You were like, that is so cool. Oh my God, my daughter's a bartender.
Oh yeah.
And that I just graduated college. You were so proud of me.
Yeah, I was.
And you were so excited to meet Peter. You're like, where's your boyfriend? Where is he? And I was like, well, I wanted to see you first before I introduced you to my boyfriend, you know.
Remember when you first met me, Peter? What did you think?
I did remember. It was you were very nice, you know. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. So, because I only heard stories from Katie, you know, about her being a child and not seeing you for a long time. So I didn't really know what to expect, but you definitely surprised me how kind you were. And how open like you were to have like me around with you and her, you know.
Oh,
so that was really cool, you know. I really appreciated that.
Definitely.
One of the first things he said to you is, this is a handsome guy.
Yeah.
He is a handsome guy.
Yeah, you were very nice to me, and it just surprised me. You know, it definitely surprised me.
I know, because
in a really good way.
I don't think I ever really described like how kind-hearted he was. You know,
and you kind of have that. I had the thought, you know, I'm about to meet my girlfriend's dad. You know, and usually like that, you know, that
dads can be
idea around it is
intimidating.
dads don't really like the boyfriends, and so like to meet you and that you were so accepting of me right away was, you know,
I'm
different.
so glad to hear that.
Yeah,
it was a treat for sure.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's why, Dad. You're amazing. Seriously. These questions that a lot of you guys have been wondering. The first question is, why did you guys spend 9 years apart?
Basically, well,
why do you think? Well, because we know why initially we had to stop talking, but why do you think it went so long, even after I was in college?
I had your number memorized. I had your phone number memorized. And your brother Aaron's number memorized. I was afraid to call or reach out.
I know, right? You were afraid to have her get involved. You were afraid what she would have done. So really, you weren't afraid to have a relationship with me, but you were afraid of what it meant with her involvement.
Right.
Right? That's what you would say?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I know. I know. It's not because you didn't want to hang out with me.
No, I'm jumping down to other questions, but when Katie knocked on my door, the first thing I thought of was that she had papers to get a restraining order against me because her mother tried to do that already, you know? Okay.
You excited to see your answers to the questions and stuff? Me too. Me too. Oh, this is actually a really good question. What was the hardest part about being separated from each other? What do you think?
Well, I didn't have any biological kids, so Katie was my biological daughter.
Yeah, in your mind.
In my mind, yeah.
So it was kind of devastating not to be able to interact.
It was very hard for me. I'm like, I don't know if she's in Jersey, I'll never see her again. Yeah. I didn't know you were commuting back and forth.
I was coming to New York, you know, like every month, but not in the same area where you were living, you know?
Right.
I was going back to Carmel. You were in Yorktown that whole time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have really seen me much then unless you drove to me. But that was when I was in high school, and it was more challenging because I was still, you know, around she who shall not be named. Yeah, but I would say the hardest part about being separated was not knowing how you were not being able to talk to you, see you, and just wondering if you're okay, how you are, what's going on with you. I didn't like not knowing what was going on with you, you know? But of course I missed my best friend too, and I thought about you all the time. I just got that courage one day. I was like, I'm doing it, I'm going. Even if he rejects me, at least I know, you know?
That was great. It was September 3rd, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're coming up to September 2023, which makes it 5 years.
Coming up on 5 years, so it has been 4.5 years.
How long you been with Peter?
8 years. So I was with him for a little while when I knocked on your door. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.